Hello and welcome to the 16th episode of E Says, P Says, your bi weekly dose of Black love. My name is Ellyn for the E.
And my name is Paul for the P. For those of you tuning in for the first time, we decided to start this podcast to celebrate a milestone in our relationship 35 years of wedded bliss, and as of April 22nd, 2026, it will be 37 years. Every other week, we'll share a part of our relationship with you so you can see what has brought us this far and will take us even further. So I'm so grateful to be able to uh, enjoy some quiet time with my wife. I'm happy that we're both healthy this year and that my children are healthy and happy, and as well as their significant other. Ellyn, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful that the project that we're working on in the background that we can't wait to tell all the peoples is almost done. Whew. Hard work pays off, but you don't realize how much hard work is involved until you start. However, I will tell everybody, start. That's all I'll say. Start. Don't let anything stop you. Start. And I'm also grateful that I'm doing these things with my partner and friend of 37 years, friend of 40 plus years. That's a great place to be working on something.
Yes, it is. Never could have imagined it, but here we are. Here we
Yeah.
are, fans.
Yes. Previously, we discussed marriage and finances with our special guest, Michael Collison. If you missed that episode, take a listen. I am sure you will enjoy that heated discussion because it has taken us almost our whole marriage to save money without a fight breaking out. And if you're a newbie, welcome. And please subscribe so you can catch up and listen to all of our episodes. This week, we are doing a romantic film rewind. Apparently, while we've been busy staying married for 37 years, the world of romantic comedies and romance films has been lost in movies and music. So this week we have chosen 5 movies we've watched together or apart that stand the test of time and truly show what love, relationship, and friendship mean. So let us begin. Our first movie, going in year order, is Claudine. This movie premiered in 1974. It starred James Earl Jones as a sanitation worker and Diahann Carroll as a single mom of six working as a housekeeper and getting public assistance to make ends meet. Paul and I were only 9 at the time, and I cannot say whether I watched it then or during one of those Fox or WPIX Sunday movie-thons. If you don't know, well, you know what Fox is, but WPIX is Channel 11. If you're a New Yorker, you know what I mean. And we were younger, they would have those movie marathons on the weekends. If you haven't watched it, I think I saw that it is on YouTube. If not, and you still have a DVD player, you may be able to find it at an old bookstore or just Google and see what you can find. It is definitely one to watch and not your typical romance. In our day, the stars of this movie were the epitome of Black Hollywood, so to see them together was pure joy. I've seen the movie several times and it never gets old. Two of Claudine's children are teenagers. Her oldest son is in his 20s and he's giving her issues because he is rebelling by being radical and getting into the Black Power movement. And she's trying to raise all the other children. And he's just I won't say he's disconnected. He's just in his own world doing his own thing. As one example, he goes out because he decides, because of all his siblings, he doesn't want to have children. He gets a vasectomy. And so when his mother comes home from work, he's laying in the bed and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" So he tells her what he did, and she's not happy about it. She understands it. There's nothing she could do. I do believe he was what, Paul, 18 or 20 in the movie. So there was nothing. Yeah. But he and she just felt like he was too young to make that decision. So as time flow and her and the James L. Jones character meet. What was his name? Her name was Claudine. His name escapes me. But they meet while she's on her way to work, and he eventually asks her out on a date, and they start kind of getting to know each other, and then he meets all them kids. And this he's been, I think he's a bachelor. Right. He stay working, living his life. Man. Yeah, and that's good. This is the 70s. So that's good money in New York. It's in New York. So he's single. So he's doing just fine. He wasn't looking for all those children. He doesn't have any children, and I think he's dated, but he's never reached a marriage point before. So, you know,
What struck me so much about the movie, if that's okay,
yeah, go ahead.
just thinking, is particularly when I look at the two black male characters, James L. Jones's character, and I can't remember the other young man's name. I think his last name is Jacobs. Watching those two, what I got a sense, particularly being a young, 9 years old, I said, I could be able to think, and I know you said, I could remember thinking to myself, damn, life is hard for a black man. I mean, James Earl Jones, he gets frustrated. I think he loses his job at the end of the movie, or he might be getting laid off, and he's very frustrated. He wants to do right by Claudine, but he don't know how he can. So he wants, he ends up leaving her, breaking up with her, and then her son goes to look out for him. They get into a physical altercation. James Earl Jones was sitting in the bar, and her son comes in and starts basically welling on the man. And, but he, being a teenager, all he could do was see his mother being hurt because her boyfriend left her. But I understood James Earl Jones's situation and why he chose to leave at that particular time. Though he did later come back, and they end up, in the credits, walking together as a family. But just thinking about his frustration, both his frustration and the teenage son's frustration. How's he going to take care of this family? Now he's probably going to be laid off, or he was laid off. And so this is very frustrating. I think that's a feeling that many black men, particularly working class black men, have dealt with in the past, who want to stay within their families, or be around children, even if they're not theirs. And it's just a frustrating situation. And then even that part, it was a scene in the movie where the social worker came in and did a house, I don't know if it was a welfare check or just to make sure a man's not living there or whatever, and to look and see what type of things are in the apartment, etc. You see Claudine running around, they get a sense, they know that she knocks on the door, honey, the welfare woman's here. They start moving around, stirring around, trying to get rid of different things. And I said to myself, wow, there's no way to have to exist. But I'm sure, even though this was a movie, I'm sure during that time, probably even to the present day, you have some people that are, poor or working poor, who may need government assistance, who have to deal with that. So another part in the movie I was thinking about that struck me was the young man who made that decision to get a vasectomy. And at that age, I was like, why would he do something like that where he couldn't have children? And now that I'm older, I understood, not necessarily agree, but I understood his decision, because think about it now during this time period. So, he's, I hate using the term a black radical, but he's just a young man. It may not even rebellious. He's just a young man that's frustrated, and he can't see his way. How would he be able to take care? He sees his sisters and brothers around him and his mother, what she has to do. So I guess he said, why should I put myself in a position where I have children that I can't take care of? So he made that decision. I think I looked at the time now that I think about the decision, I look at this, I finally tried it. I know this might be controversial, but quite courageous. Why? Why? It's a courageous decision because even at that young tender age, he knew that he was in no position, and he may not even in the future be in a position to take care of a family. It's sad, but it's a realization that he came to at an awful young age. So the movie, and sometimes it was a uplifting, other times very sobering. Even with the teenage daughter getting pregnant, she got pregnant, at a teenage pregnancy. Mother was very frustrated, cried. Diahann Carroll played Claudine, was very frustrated with the daughter for getting pregnant. And the daughter just seemed like she just didn't really, understand what her mother was trying to explain to her. Listen, you're going to put yourself, look at my situation. So you're going to put yourself in a situation that I'm in, and why would I want that for my daughter? So it was very, for to be 9 and watch something like that, a movie like that, it was somewhat traumatic, to be honest. But go ahead.
Well, I guess I don't think I saw it at 9.
Okay.
Knowing my parents, I definitely didn't see it at 9. I think when I say I watched it as one of those Saturday or Sunday movie marathons, I was probably a teenager, like
Right.
13, 14 by the time I saw it for the first time. And I did locate, so James Earl Jones's character, his name, he was Rupert, but they called him Root. And then Diahann Carroll's Claudine. And then the son was Lawrence Hilton Jacob. So you were correct on that. And at the end of the movie as well, the oldest son and the daughter, because she's pregnant, she moves in with her boyfriend, and the oldest son moves out. And I'm quite sure everybody listening to us is like, well, why did the daughter was in school? There was enough age difference between the oldest son and the oldest daughter that she was finishing high school and he had finished. So he I believe he was looking for work, but then because of his radical thought process, and also he would have had to leave the home if he did find work because it would have counted against his mother getting assistance.
Right.
So
this is very interesting. So it's very interesting situation.
and
It's on many things.
yes, a lot. I guess single motherhood. She in the movie, back then you weren't no one's a single mom by choice. Well, some people are, but back then you were either a widow or divorced or some type of marital situation had occurred. You didn't just have a baby willy nilly. So in this particular movie, she's widowed.
Right.
So, and when her husband passed, he left her with 6 kids, and she had to head back to work because she had to take care of the kids, and welfare was not enough.
Right.
But it allowed her to work and make so much, and then take care of the kids as well.
Exactly.
But if you can find it, and if you don't know who James Jones and Diahann Carroll are, then you will
enjoy this.
Yeah, you'll be amazed by their acting ability, especially when I look at it, I'm like, when you see an actor outside of their roles and then you see them play this, you're like, um
That's them.
yeah, exactly. Because Diahann Carroll is very polished, very sophisticated, very well dressed, very well spoken woman. James Earl Jones as well, very eloquent, always polished, very nice looking. So it's like you're like, they really can act. Yeah. I don't know if it won any Emmys or anything like that, but it was a very good movie.
Very much so.
Yes, very much so. So I would say
highly recommend.
Yes, I agree. It's a older love story, but it translates into today, and I would say probably more on the drama side than a comedy because of some of the subject matter.
Yes.
The pregnancy, the vasectomy, the like her leaving, him leaving because he didn't know what to do
Right.
with all of those kids. It wasn't
Well,
something he
yeah.
signed up for. Her being a widow and having children, being a single mom at that time in the 70s was not a popular thing. And it was like she had neighbors, but it didn't seem like she had family. Like she had neighbors and friends, but she didn't seem to have family to lean on. So it
Right.
was just her and her children.
Right.
Yeah.
So our second movie is The Greatest.
And a lot of you will know that movie title also from the original version of the movie where there was Ali in
And that was done in when?
and that was done in 2000. I know it was 2000 something because our we went it was Christmas of 2000 something because we went with the family was here for Christmas and we all went together. We got tickets. My aunt got tickets and that was her Christmas gift. And if you the greatest came out when Paul and I were 11.
Right.
So and I that movie I did see because my father took us to see it. So back then when fathers took you someplace, it was a big I mean, I guess it's still a big deal to some kids, but to us, because of our father's job, he wasn't always home and available to do a lot of things with us. But for him to take us to the movies, like, it's not like now going to the movies was a big thing. You just didn't go to the movies
Right.
because it felt like it in the 70s and early 80s. So he took us to see it. And the original movie, and so is the remake, is based on Muhammad Ali's autobiography. And in The Greatest, Muhammad Ali played himself.
Mm-hmm.
So it also featured the song that Whitney Houston made famous, The Greatest Love of All, and it was sung by George Benson. So, but Whitney immortalized that song. I think more people probably remember the Whitney version than the George Benson version.
Yeah.
And since at this particular time there was no pay-per-view and cable, so we Paul probably as well, I think we saw a couple of boxing matches with
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali on television.
Yeah.
And we
When I
had
was
seen,
younger.
yeah, when we were younger, when it was free,
Yes.
it was like,
Not like it is now.
these are big.
Like
I know.
like every big boxing match is on pay per view.
Yes. When we were coming, I know we're dating ourselves now, but when we were coming up, we a lot of these things were free. Your World Series was free. I'll put it to you this way: there were how many? What, 6 channels, Paul? Yeah, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and sometimes you had that UHF button on there. You might get like 69 and something. So you had about 9, maybe 10 channels altogether.
Right.
And usually channel 7, ABC was your sports channel. And your baseball games, your basketball games, your football games, your boxing, all types of stuff came on channel 7. So that's what we would watch when we were kids. And if you ever get a chance, you can check on YouTube or check on just Google it and watch a Muhammad Ali video and watch an interview of him and Howard Cosell, because Howard Cosell was the ring caller at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
And he and Muhammad Ali would always get into it. And Muhammad Ali, y'all watch, who was that, Carissa Shields? She tries to have him out of lip.
Don't know she's a the women's heavyweight champion, boxing champion.
And she tries to have a lot of mouth, but she has a mouth about the wrong things for me. But anyway, I digress. But Muhammad was always talking junk about his opponents, and he would talk junk to his interviewers, anybody. He just liked talking junk. And the biggest deal about him at that particular time was converting to Islam.
Mm.
And a lot of Christians still called him Cassius Clay after that. As a matter of fact, my godmother was like, Cassius Clay, and I was like, "Who is that?" And she said that was Muhammad Ali's name, and that's the name that his parents gave him, and that's what she was calling him. So she would not call him Muhammad Ali, and she did the same when my godbrother converted to being a Hebrew Israelite. She called him by the name she gave him. But if you go by the remake was done in 2001, so the remake is basically the same movie as the 1977 one, except Muhammad Ali played himself, and it goes through his marriages, his conversion to Islam, his choosing to defect from the war, not participate in the war, and him
And this is it's important. He was a
yeah,
conscientious objector.
yeah, yes. And the second movie expanded the story about him and his first wife. In the first movie, you didn't really see the first wife too tough. You saw Belinda, the second wife, who was the Muslim um, young woman that he married after he converted. And then you see that marriage kind of get torn apart by the second wife, which was the model. And then, as time goes, he marries a third and a fourth woman. I think he has about 9 children when he this um left this universe. And if you want to see the original movie, it's on Tubi, and Ali is on Netflix, so you can see both of them. And the to me, the reason I remember this movie is my dad took me to see it. It was like my first movie experience, movie theater experience, like the popcorn and all of that, sodas, everything experience. So that's a memorable family moment. My sister was with us as well. And I, just like now, when you look at certain athletes, Muhammad Ali was one of the athletes that you looked at because he had a presence. You knew who he was.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and what are your thoughts about that movie?
I just love the movie. I love both versions of the version that Will Smith played in and the one that Muhammad Ali played in as himself. I felt I felt Will Smith. My goodness, it was just like he was like a mirror image of Ali, as far as if not physically, also just even his voice inflections, things of that nature. Sometimes you thought you were looking at Ali the way he played him so well in that movie. And then I loved when Ali played himself. And one thing I took away from was that this man was an immensely talented man, extremely bright man, and courageous. I want people to understand that what he did. I want to say that he wasn't going to go fight for it was a conscientious objector, and then he gave reasons why he wouldn't fight. And he took a lot of, he suffered
Yes, he did.
in a lot of different ways, particularly probably the most uh, uh, difficult part of this whole situation was the economic damage, financial damage that happened to him and his family. I think another thing a lot of people don't know about Ali was that he was a big giver. He did a lot for people, never asked anything in return. That's why to me, he was the people's champ. People that were less, people that didn't have anything. He would look out for people who he never, he didn't try to, show off what he was giving to others. A lot of people don't know that about him, but he just had that giving spirit about him. Always willing to lend an ear to people, always willing to give and to help people. I think one thing about him, he was very trusting, and that was something that hurt him, I think, because he thought everybody operated like he did. And as I become older, I see that everybody doesn't act like you might act in certain situations. So I think that hurt him in some ways, not just financially, but it hurt him emotionally. Because he's a big, powerful man. People can do certain things to you that can impact you and hurt you in a emotionally negative, way. So But overall, both movies, I thought I recommend both movies. They both were outstanding. The acting was very good in both.
And well,
Oh,
the other big part about the greatest, the original movie, is the person the movie is about playing themselves. That was not something that was done back then.
no.
Movie, the theater, not the theater places, the film studios still want a bankable person, and I think the only reason they did kept Muhammad Ali as himself was because of his charisma, and they felt like he could translate himself better than anybody else.
Right, which
I don't think
absolutely
yeah,
true.
I don't think I don't think anybody else at that particular time could have played Muhammad Ali but himself.
So
Yeah.
to now just to get away from some another movie that we talk about, we feel like it's romantic and in a weird kind of way is our third movie, which is Pretty Woman.
Yeah, this movie was released in 1990 and it stars Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. So I and when Paul says that it's a weird kind of romantic movie, Julia Roberts' character is a working girl, and she bumps into Richard Gere's character coming out of a high class restaurant. This movie takes place in Los Angeles, and Julia Roberts came to Los Angeles to, I don't know if she came to act or whatever, but somehow, as we all know, sometimes these things don't work out and you end up doing what you need to do to live. And
The recurring thing happens
yes,
in real life.
yes,
People come to California,
or New York.
New York, to realize their acting dream, or to become actors, and they go, it doesn't work out, or they still pursue it, but they need income in order to pursue it. So she happened to fall in a lifestyle that I'm
Yeah,
sure she hadn't intended when she first came to California. But
yes.
I'll let Ellen expand.
So, well, she bumps it. The Richard Gere person. He's what do they call them? He's a person that purchases companies and then sells them for parts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he does. So he's pretty wealthy. So he rents a Lotus, and at the time, anybody that doesn't know what a Lotus is, it was a very high end car. It was one of the first cars where the doors went up instead of out, and most of the time it was a stick shift. So he couldn't drive a stick shift. So he was struggling, and she happened to be out there, and he called her attention, and she drove him back to the hotel so that he was staying at. So as when they got to the hotel, she does go upstairs with him. It wasn't her intention for anything to go any further. She was just taking him where he needed to go. She figured he would give her a few dollars and she would go back wherever she came from. But it turns into them spending the night, and her only rule is no kissing. So she doesn't kiss any. She said she saves that for the person that she falls in love with. And of course, he's not at a high end hotel. So as she's coming in, the concierge gives her a like a raincoat, because she has like, well, you've seen working girls. Whatever she had on was inappropriate. She had on like some mini skirt and some high knee high boots. It was, yeah, it didn't fit. So it wasn't demure at all. So after their encounter, he asks her to stay with him for the week, and he gives her money to go get appropriate outfits. So of course she goes to Rodeo Drive, and if you're not familiar with Rodeo Drive, it's the high end store place of California, of Los Angeles. And
There's a series of stores on
yeah,
there.
yes. And just a couple of stores she walked into, they make fun of her. So again, the concierge, she comes back, she's in tears, and she's like, I need to get dresses. And he gave me money. And he sends her to one of the friends that he knows, and she helps get her these outfits. And she goes back to the store, and she's like dressed to the nines, and she said, yeah, remember me? And she was like, you work on commission, right? Big mistake, big mistake. That's so that's the I'm getting back. And of course they fall in love, and she asked him, because she's an intelligent woman. She didn't come to California and she wasn't dizzy and anything like that. She came for a reason and she had a plan. It just didn't work out. So she understands the things, his business, and she asked him, why doesn't he build stuff instead of, because he's in the process of a merger at the time that they meet. And as they get closer together, one of his friends feels like she's trying to get in the middle of them, and he does something. He tries to throw himself at her, and that doesn't work out well. But needless to say, they fall in love. She walks away because he's like, I'll give you an apartment and an allowance. And she was like, I don't want that. She's like, if I'm going to be in your life, I'm going to be the missus. I'm not going to be the side chick. So, as in Hollywood, the happily ever after, he drives to where she lives. He's afraid of heights. He climbs up the fire escape, and he asks her to marry him, and it goes to the credits. And that was a movie that Paul and I saw together.
And that's a movie that, when I think about that movie, what it showed me in watching it, the love can happen anywhere. It can happen in any circumstance, any situation. It can happen by chance. It can be, anything. You could be on vacation. You could be at a bar. You could be at church. It could be. You just can happen. And sometimes it just strikes like lightning, bam. And then you looking at that person, huh? What? So it sometimes doesn't even matter what the person does for a living. You just looking at that person in front of you. So very, very. I thought it was a very interesting and unique movie. I think very interesting storyline. I think it covered many themes too.
Yeah.
Covered class.
Yes.
How does class and privilege?
Yes.
How does that impact when one is not a part of a certain class? How's one treated?
True. Very true.
It's not always. And then if you're just not a part of the club, so you can have money, but if you're not a part of the club, and this goes, class is a very I call it kind of a prickly thing.
Yeah. I agree.
Because sometimes you don't realize that you're being discriminated against, or you have one can be discriminated until you get into certain spaces. So, and once she got in that space of Rodeo Drive, and look how she was being treated. Like, why are you even in the store? They based everything on what she had on.
Yes.
Okay. Because she was a very attractive young lady, but they just based it on her dress. She don't have the money to shop here. So, but many have come to realize that they made a mistake. Like when she came back and said, hey, you get paid on commission, right? See what you could have had. So it's not. So this, and all the other thing it showed me too. Don't judge a book by its cover.
True.
I learned that too watching that movie. So I just thought the movie was a very good film, and it ended up quite nicely with them both being together, and then her saying, "Hey, listen." She basically told him, I don't care what I was, I am. You're not gonna hide me away.
Yes.
I want, if you want to be with me, then be with me.
Yes. I agree. And I mean, and I think this movie gave a lot of people that were in those positions I guess it's a Cinderella story for working girls.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll put it to you that way. And she was like a breath of fresh air in the wealthy community that he was in, because a lot of the meetings and stuff, it's always a +1.
Right.
So the guy he was in the merger with, it was an older gentleman, and they would talk to each other, and she had her little slang, and at the time it was like that dog pound, woof, woof, woof. So she was at a polo match and she was like, woof, woof, woof. And everybody's like, what's going on? Because, if you're at a polo match, most people is a little clap and that's it. You don't, do anything else. So it was very interesting, and you can catch it on YouTube. Paul and I really enjoyed it. And and like to watch it from time to time when it
Yes.
comes on.
So, our fourth movie is A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. It was released in 1996. It stars Martin Lawrence, Lynn Whitfield, and Bobby Brown. This is another film that Ellyn and I saw together. All I can say is wow.
Yeah.
We went thinking this was going to be a comedy. Boy, were we surprised. This was a drama. Not only a drama, but similar to Fatal Attraction, another psychological thriller that we both watched together. Basically, Martin Lawrence is a club promoter and ladies' man. His mother gets on him about it, the lifestyle that he's leading. But he is not phased until he meets a woman he has to woo. Well, since he got her, his true love came back into town and he let her go. And the woman that he wooed would not be shaken off. She beat herself up and had him arrested for abuse, physical abuse. She did a few more things, which ended up with her kidnapping him and his friends having to rescue him. If you have seen this movie, I am quite sure you too were surprised by that turn. In addition to the storyline, we were surprised at how well Bobby Brown could act. After leaving the theater, Paul and I discussed this point and always looked forward to Bobby doing more acting. Well, there's still time. Hopefully he will. So far, he has only done reality TV. That being said, I still enjoy this movie from time to time. I like it when it is on TNT or Fox. However, if you want, you can watch it on YouTube. So, Ellen, what did you think about this movie? Did you think, look at it as, I think in the beginning it was
Yeah, it was
very
nice.
romantic.
Yeah, it seemed like it was gonna be a boomerang kind of movie, you know.
Kind of lulled you in.
Yeah.
Very good writing, and it kind of just like engaged you as the watcher. You're watching it, and it lulls you. Come on in, and then bam!
Yeah.
You see all these huge turn.
Yeah.
And look at that. Her name was
Lynn
Whitfield. Lynn Whitfield.
Yeah.
So, and I had seen her in previous, uh, you know, uh, movies, and she never had a character like that.
No, I agree. I don't think I've had one since.
It took me aback. But everybody, when you say A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, people know who Lynn Whitfield is. You mention her name, they know her.
Yeah.
Well, of course, everybody knows who Martin Lawrence is, but they really know because she was something in that. But go ahead, honey. What do you think about the movie?
No, I agree. This movie put such an impression on us that as we were making the list, I was going through because I picked 10 movies and I said A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Paul was like, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. And I remember it. So we were living in California. No, we weren't in California at the time.
Right.
I guess so. We must have gone to see it in Manhattan or something.
Yeah, I think we were living in New York.
Yeah. So this was 96. Yeah. So we would have been either in Brooklyn or New Jersey. Yeah. But it was, it was just like, whoa. And Bobby Brown, we didn't know because he wasn't on the. You saw, basically, it was Martin Lawrence. Mm-hmm. And at the time, Martin was doing Martin. So, Paul and I are always up for, you see Martin, you figure it's going to be a comedy.
Right.
But he took us for a ride that time. And then, of course, you see Bobby Brown and you're like, can Bobby act? Yes. You're like, oh, yes, he can. And Regina King, she was the love interest.
Yes. She was very good too.
Yeah, she was very good as well.
Yes.
But it was, you just have to see it. I don't talking too much about it will give it away.
Right. So we're gonna stop right there because we really, I think that's probably one of our favorite movies that we've seen. I would say definitely in the top 10.
Yeah.
So we had some others though that we, before we reveal our final movie. So like, there are a few honorable mentions that both me and Ellen want to share. We're not going to go into a discussion about these, but we just want to quote them. We're just going to state what they are. So, oh my goodness. And I just look at the, starring Billy D. Williams and Diana Ross, the movie Mahogany, which came out in 1975. I could talk about this movie forever, but I'm not. The next one is When Harry Met Sally, starring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. Ghost, another wonderful, wonderful film, starring Patrick Swayze, as well as Whoopi Goldberg.
And yeah, I think there was, who else was in that movie? I can't remember anybody. Bruce Willis's first wife. What was her name, Paul? Oh gosh.
We're not sure, but we'll come back to her.
Yes. And then there was Boomerang that came out in 1992, and that was Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, and Robin Givens.
And then finally, The Best Man. That came out in 1999, starring an ensemble cast of Morris Chestnut, Taye Diggs, Malcolm D. Lee, Nita Long, Terrence Howard, and Monica Calhoun. Let us know what your top 5 or 6 movies are by emailing or leaving a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And Ellen, any comments on the list? Do you have movies to add, or are these included in your list?
They would be included in my list. You really didn't. I don't think we saw. Did we see the best? I don't know if we saw The Best Man together or not.
I don't think we did.
But I think because it was such a male heavy cast, Paul didn't pay any attention. I
think I saw it.
But if I mention, what is that? The Brothers, or the other movie. What was that one with
You mean with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. If I mention that, he remembers. Four Brothers. That's what it was. Was Taye Diggs in that one? No, that was Tyrese. Yeah, Tyrese and the other, that African guy.
I know his name.
Yeah.
No,
but not that. It wasn't Idris Elba. It was Chibe something.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. Right. But the other person in Ghost was Demi Moore.
Yeah, Demi Moore. I couldn't forget you.
I know.
But like the main thing going on. You know that romance that you have? That was Whoopi Goldberg played a beautiful role in that as well. So just very good honorable mentions.
It's Chiwetel Ejiofor.
For which one?
For the Four Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a very good actor as well.
Yeah, and that was the first time I think Paul and I had seen them. And also remember, this was a different time. Like all the movie clips and all this kind of stuff that you guys get, we would get a brief commercial every once in a blue moon about a new movie. So basically, we would go to the movies and see what was playing, and if we saw some actors that we liked, let's go watch that. So half the time we didn't even know what movies were out.
Okay, so now I think this is pretty good. Who mentioned?
Yeah.
Almost made the list, but they just couldn't overcome this last one. And it's our 5th movie on the list. And I'm telling you now, I can talk about this forever. I'm gonna talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna let Ellen come in because this is like, look, listen, this is Love and Basketball. We saw this movie together, and it has special meaning. I love it. It was released in the year 2000. It stars Omar Epps and
Sanaa
Lathan. And true to the title, 2 next door neighbors bonded over basketball. He is the son of a basketball player that is destined for the NBA, or actually playing in the NBA.
Well, the father is playing.
Yeah, the father is. See, because we have the son of a basketball player.
Yeah.
And he is destined. So
you
change that sense. Because you see that is.
Well, he's like at the time he's a Bronny of the LeBron James.
Right. So you say he is the son of a basketball player. But it sounds like you're saying that. You're saying you're talking about just to say
he's the NBA. Well, how should you put it?
Well, that's what I was
trying. Okay. Oh, that's all. Go ahead.
So, so I'm gonna start that up again. You good? You can clean it
Go
up.
ahead. Yeah.
He is the son of a basketball player who is uh wait a minute. He is the son of an NBA player. Period. Right?
Yeah.
He's also destined to be in the NBA, just like his father. Period.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Or you could just say he's the Bronny of the movie.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
he's LeBron James' son in the movie. But LeBron LeBron was born, but he wasn't playing yet.
Right.
I don't think in the NBA.
So she is the tomboy next door that plays pickup games as they grow into their teen years. It was released in the year 2000. It stars Omar Epps and
Sanaa.
Lathan. And true to the title, two next door neighbors bond over basketball. He is the son of a basketball player that is in the NBA, and he himself is also destined for the NBA. She is the tomboy next door and plays pickup. As they grow into their teen years, and he starts to date, the young ladies he chooses are the frilly girly types, the type of girl that she is not. As they move into their college years, they get scholarships for basketball. Throughout the changes, they remain friends, just not as close as in the beginning. And finally, she realizes, as does he, that they love each other. They play a basketball game and lay it on the line. Unfortunately, she loses. But in movie fashion, the next scene shows her playing in the WNBA and then with a child. A true love story, and it included Paul's favorite sport,
Basketball.
basketball. It
Basketball.
included my favorite sport,
Yeah,
basketball. All I will say is that those what
is that all I would say is that though these
oh yeah, I read that. Okay. All I read over this. How am I messing up? All I would say is that though these are
rom-com,
rom-coms, don't get it twisted.
romantic comedy.
Oh.
Well, romantic comedy or romantic films. Some of these are, all of them were not romantic comedies. Some of them were more romantic comedy dramas or romantic dramas.
Sure. So,
me, Ellyn, have seen so many Mafia, Bruce Willis, and other action movies, I can't even count. So it is a toss up when it comes to the different genres because we were dating and now married. And similar to now, I would say that depending on what movies are out is what we see. So currently, the movies we would like to go see are The Odyssey and Spider-Man 3. And I guess this is, and we asked, well, I asked myself, where has the romantic film or romantic comedy gone? I mean, you got horror movies in July. I don't understand. It's all blood and guts. And I guess the most romantic you get now is the Spider-Mans with Zendaya and Spider-Man.
right.
So
I see Odyssey's also there.
yeah, I read the Odyssey. But I said, but the other thing is, I was talking to my cousin about this the other day. These movies are 2-3 hours.
Yes.
And he was saying, because we're in the same age range, he said, yeah, he said, when he said the first movie that was 2 hours, you got an intermission.
Right.
They don't, he said they expect you to sit there for 2.5, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That's
a lot of time.
Tell you that.
You trying to stay up?
Yeah, 60
Popcorn is expensive. Some places give you free refills.
Right.
But come on.
Yeah, it's
Bring back the hour and a half, hour
Right.
45 minute
90
movie.
minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, bam. Say what you got to say in 90.
And let it go.
No,
Just let it go.
I'm sorry. We live in a fast food society. 2 or 3 hours, I mean, 2 2 is enough for me. No, 3 hours. When you start getting into that 3-4 hour range, that guy called it that Gandhi spear.
Oh yeah, that's because Gandhi was another one that was like three hours.
4 hours.
And they gave, but you got an intermission.
Yeah,
You got an intermission, and
I mean, wonderful. I don't want to take look. I don't want to insult anybody love guys. Wonderful.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Long.
It was. And what was that other movie? Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
You even get an intermission in Gone with the Wind. I think that's 3 hours, and that's on TV, and they still give you an intermission.
That's right.
So
interesting.
I mean, I know life has gotten expensive.
Yeah.
And the film studios want us to feel like we're getting our money's worth.
Right.
Well, come on, man. Do we have to sit there for 2 hours
right.
all at one time?
Yeah.
Could you give us 15 minutes?
Right.
Because the thing that happens is, as you mature, you got to have restroom breaks. You got to stand up and you got to stretch. And then if you then you're trying to sit there all curled up in your seat. Because if you leave, the bathroom is not at the end of the theater. You got to go down the road, around the corner, back over in the side. And by the time you come back, you missed 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And now you try to whisper, what happened? And it's like, I can't tell you because I'm still trying to watch and see what else is going to go on.
All right.
So
let's go to the mock minute.
So if you agree with us before the mock minute, if you agree with us about movie times, leave us a comment.
Yes. So, as far as our mock minute is concerned, so some questions. If you are dating someone that your partner's family doesn't like, and the partner is treating that person different, what should you do? And who should handle?
Yeah, and the family is treating that person differently.
So
the partner's family is treating that person different.
Okay. So what should you do?
Well, in my case,
I mean, this is out to the should you just let it continue to happen? Or should you should you just allow it to happen? Or should somebody speak? Should your partner? Would you expect your partner to speak up?
Well, my person spoke up, so that's all I can say about that. And as a male or female, depending on whose family it is, that party should speak up because that you're the new person coming into the family, and if you don't say something, that your partner's family will keep treating your person like that.
All I want to say, and I want you to remember something, those who are married, remember you're supposed to be one. So you should always be a united front. So you shouldn't allow anybody, whether it's your family members, to treat your partner, your wife, or your husband badly.
Well, this is dating even dating.
So okay, you're dating. Okay, let's talk about dating. If that's somebody that you're not willing to speak up for, that's not your person.
I agree.
How about that? So
I agree.
If you allow them to be mistreated, then maybe that's somebody that you should be with. And I can say, unequivocally, if I was dating somebody and their family talking to me, in a very rude way, and they don't say anything, I'm just leaving that situation, that space, because I don't need that negativity in my life. And that tells me that's a red flag, right? That's not my person. Sometimes God can speak to you through others.
So, it's true.
And let it go at that. Because let me say something to you about life is too short.
Yes.
To be in spaces or situations that make you feel uncomfortable. Move on. And I don't want to go too long. We've been talking a while. But let me just say this. Okay. There are other people today. The world is not going to end if it doesn't work out with a person that you think is your person. Move on.
I agree.
Some of these things that are going on, some of these violent reactions, a breakup or something. Life is too short. What you going to jail for 30 years for? If the person wanted to cheat, what can you do?
Nothing.
So you gonna ruin your life because they cheated? And then people going with people, they're not even married to the person. Oh, she cheated on me. She's not your wife. Okay. And even if she was your wife, she cheat. What could you do about it? So if you kill, what is that? I'm not ruining my life. Is that what you want to do? Go on. But just leave me alone. When I say it's over, you telling me it's over, right?
True.
What you tell if I'm dating you, I'm not talking about a situation where you got children and finances, but still, even this, that's a tough situation.
Yeah.
But when you dating somebody and they cheat, that's not your person.
Well,
Why ain't you gonna give? Because you see the effects. I remember some of these young guys. They get violent with these girls.
Oh yeah, no.
Or they got somebody on a phone. Who's on your? I don't have time to be monitoring your phone. If you want somebody to call you, I don't need your password. Look, I don't need it. If I got to be doing all that, then you're not my person.
I agree.
What you looking for my password for? Why? If you want to see my phone, see it here. But if evidently I'm hiding something, I don't want you to look at my phone.
True.
So maybe you shouldn't be in that situation.
And there are people, I won't say that some people have jobs.
True.
That have security and all that kind
That's
of stuff.
true. You can't get on
So
be on this.
I understand. So there are times that a person may say, a person may say, no, you can't use my phone because I get, secure messages or whatever on it. Okay, fine. But you have to trust your person.
Right.
If you feel that you can't trust them,
get out the situation.
I'm not fighting over the phone. I probably hold my phone more than than he holds his, because I can say it in a second. I can leave my phone upstairs and be like, Paul, can I use your phone? He's like, here. Right. And then I will give it to him. It's not like I'm not trying to give it to him.
Right.
But for me, my phone has been a work phone.
Right.
So that is sometimes why you may hesitate and give it.
What I'm saying is, if a person wants to cheat, they're gonna cheat.
Yeah.
You can't. Nothing you can do.
Your phone ain't gonna stop it.
Nothing. So you can do what you think you do. You ain't gonna stop anything. It's about the So let it go.
But you should always stand up for the person that you feel is yours.
Absolutely.
Always. Whether you're dating them, whether they're your friend, whether they're, your wife, whether you're divorced, anybody that says anything negative in front of you, you can't do anything about something that they don't say.
Caveat, that person shouldn't be saying ignorant stuff too.
True.
Provoke that situation. So keep that in mind.
This is true.
All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about the disclaimer. We are not therapists, just hoping to help others through our crazy love story. Shout out to everyone who took a few moments out of their day to listen. We hope that anything you heard was helpful.
Is there anyone or some cause in your life that has gone beyond expectations or given more than expected? Well, why don't you show your appreciation by giving your time, talent, or funds to them? And please feel free to share who or whom you appreciate. It feels good to say thanks. Or you can send a note or leave one on our social media platforms or our email, mockmediagroup4@gmail.com, to thank someone working hard at whatever it is that they do that is making lasting change in their field or world. You can also check out our website, mockmediagroup.com, where you can listen and learn about all things happening with the Mocks. If you like this content, we love your support in improving the show. Please donate at buymeacoffee.com/mockmediagroup to help cover hosting costs, gear upgrades, and to give us more time to create great content for you. And make sure to subscribe on any platform you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. And I want to shout out, it's that time of year, to all of the teachers headed back to the classroom.
Yes.
May you have a wonderful and happy year.
Yes. Thanks for joining us this week on E Says, P Says, your weekly dose of Black love. Check us out on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Mock Media Group. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast on your preferred platform so that you don't miss any of our episodes. Can't get enough of the Mock Minute. Check out our newsletter on Substack.
Substack.com/at Mock Media Group.
And feel free to leave any questions or comments on one of our social media platforms or via email, mockmediagroup4@gmail.com. See you in 2 weeks.
1, 2,